6 years ago, I flew to New York by myself, a nervous 21-year-old senior in college with the dream of one day being a cantor, praying that by some chance, the Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music would take a chance on me and let me in. That journey came to its culmination on May 8th as I ascended the Bema steps at Temple Emmanuel as a cantorial student and descended minutes later, tears streaming down my face into my mask as a cantor. I felt an immense sense of blessing that weekend, surrounded by family, friends, classmates, dear teachers, and many of you who came to support me as it was made official, standing up for me as they called my name. On one hand, I felt so ready to wear this new title with pride, a title that reflects all of my hard work over the past years, but at the same time, I felt the newness and bizarre formality of being addressed as Cantor McMillan soon after in emails. I found myself reading the name, not even knowing who it was, knowing that in just a matter of weeks, I will be taking on another new name as I marry my partner of 6 years. And I'm warning you, I may not respond to Cantor Pearsall at first. It'll take some time to match that name to how I feel inside. My inner voice telling me that I'm just Jenna. I'm just me. I have to tell myself that I'll grow into this new name and title and to have patience with myself as I go along the journey. The beginning of Parshat Bechukotai, this week's Torah portion, made me ponder all of the blessings I felt were inherent in this transformative moment, as the portion begins with a list of blessings that God will bestow upon the Israelite people if they follow the rules and laws of their covenant. Those blessings are then followed by a comprehensive, detailed list of curses that will befall the Israelite people if they do not follow these rules, which eerily mimicked my experience the week of ordination as I experienced all of those blessings and then experienced the curse of waking up with COVID the next day and having it the first week of my cantorate. Yeah, this sermon was supposed to be last week. Ironically enough, one of the punishments God threatened in this portion was pestilence, which literally hit home for me 2 days after the ceremony. Definitely not what I had pictured for the immediate aftermath of my ordination, but certainly a story to tell the future grandkids. As I had way too much time to reflect while I was quarantining at home, the emphasis of this week's Torah portion on the duality of blessings and curses had me thinking about the 5 years of my life that I just dedicated to preparing for the cantorate with all of the beautiful blessings and hurdles I experienced in between. Within Central's Mishkan service on Saturday mornings, there's a minhag or custom to share with the group our everyday miracles that we personally experienced throughout the last week. During the section of our morning prayers dedicated to daily miracles, thanking God for the beauty within the mundane, I pondered the question, what are the miracles within the mundane that I will take with me from this time? What lessons can we all take from these everyday miracles? In my reflection, I tried to really dig deep and not think of the obvious. Of course, I was blessed with incredible mentors, a supportive partner, and a wonderful family, but there were little moments in between the big moments that bestowed in me lessons that have stuck with me through the years as well. I thought of the people I have been blessed to know that made cantorial school such a formative time. There was Noga and Yoram in the little garden on my street where I lived for my first year of cantorial school in Jerusalem, where I volunteered every Friday morning, who taught me all of the Hebrew gardening vocabulary I needed to know as I worked with them in the earth, planting flowers, harvesting olives, and making compost. The volunteers were like a family there. After hours of work, we would sit together and eat the fruits of our labor, freshly gathered from the garden, sharing good news, and talking of the blessings in our lives. When I referred to the soil once as dirt in Hebrew, thinking it the correct word to use, they frowned and replied with, no, ze zahav, it's gold. Their reverence for the earth, their respect for all that it grows, was a blessing they bestowed in me every Friday I lived in Israel for my program. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who grew within me a deep appreciation for our earth and its sacred power to build community. There was Edwin, a patient of mine when I took the summer to be a multi-faith chaplain at a hospital uptown, who told me his life story, and when words failed after hearing the pain in his voice, I sang to him Debbie Friedman's Tefillat Haderech to bless him in his hospital journey. When I finished singing, he looked up at me, smiled, and said, I love you. I had only known him for 1 hour. He shared the same name as my grandfather, who passed away shortly before, who was so close to me. And it was as if in that moment my grandfather was saying those words to me. The next day I returned and he was gone. That afternoon we shared was a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who shows me every day the healing power of music and the ways it intertwines with memory. There was Jerry, who in that same summer called the chaplain's office for a rabbi to come say some final prayers as his sister was passing away. Yet the rabbi had already gone home for Shabbat, and I was very apprehensive going to the room, thinking of myself as not adequate for the task. I told him that the rabbi had gone home, and you could call him on his cell phone if you'd like, but I'd also like to offer a few prayers for you and your family if I could. I reached out my hand, and we sang together as his sister's final moments neared. When I opened my eyes, he looked at me through tears and said, you don't have to call the rabbi. You are enough. I take this blessing that he gave me everywhere I go when I enter a situation, listening to that inner voice that says, who am I? I'm just Jenna. No, inner voice, you are enough. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who has taught me that I am enough. These are just some of the blessing-filled moments that have formed the foundation for my cantorate. And I'm so thankful that these small moments collected over time and fueled me to continue down this path so that I can serve this beautiful congregation. The last time I gave a sermon in the sanctuary, it was to empty pews. The curse I experienced in cantorial school was entering into this internship when it was impossible to be in the same room, to sing together, to hold one another. I am ready to create these blessing-filled moments with you as we make up for that lost time. I hope to share in your blessings, but also share with you in the times that you feel the curse more than the blessing, using song and prayer as our way to get through. Shabbat Shalom.